One of y'all shows me so much gratitude, and I'm like, you know what? Let me just continue sharing my knowledge, sharing my wisdom about whatever. Welcome to Sagittarius season, you all. Uh, I'm doing this with two cameras, so don't mind who or what I am or am not looking at. But we left Scorpio season. Oh, yeah. Scorpio is all about the shared values again and shining a light on those things that we don't really like to bring to the light, but we have to share those things, communicate those things, or else no one else will know what it is that we value and how we like to grow and expand. And in Scorpio season, one of the most important things I hope we've all learned is relationships are transactional. You give something and you get something. You get something and you must give something in return. As the sun has shifted into Sagittarius with the dominant phrase I see. And I see that there are not a lot of people here just yet. So I'm going to fill the time with a little story. So, what kind of experience did I have? Before we left Scorpio season, like 2 seconds before Pluto exited Capricorn and entered Aquarius. This Capricorn, yeah, showed me that the relationship isn't really transactional. Like I told you guys about my Sagittarius placement, and Sagittarius has a lot to give, has a lot to offer. And I always, like Leo sun, give very generously. You can always have some. But at a certain point in time, favors may be asked back. So, like, yeah, 18 years in time, we have a relationship of 18 years, and I asked for a favor back, and I was disappointed. Shmoane doesn't do her disappointment. So Shmoane had to cut someone off. But like I said, well, we'll talk about it some other day. But like I said in week 48, with Jupiter being the ruler of the new moon and in an air trine with Lilith, some things we do have to communicate. Some things we have to be a little fair about. Fair to ourselves to say we're going to cut this off, but also fair enough to others to say we're not going to make these people our public enemies. Remember, Lilith is in Libra, and Libra's seventh house is also the public enemies, which we don't like to game. So, little story time. Yeah, I asked someone for a favor, Capricorn, coincidentally, or coincidences don't really exist, as Pluto exited Capricorn and entered Aquarius. Hi. Either way, let's just get into it. I wrote some things and I'm going to tell you, like, if you have been following me for a bit, you may know some things. You may be a little bit ahead of time, a week ahead of time to be exact, as I'm also a week ahead of the new moon and all those things. But keep following, and I'm very grateful for you all still being here and being with me, and most of all, bearing with me. I don't like that this is not this guy. I'm just gonna put it like this. Either way, Sagittarius season, turning point, we've talked about this, but a little, we discussed it a little. Sagittarius, Gemini are both turning points. And Gemini season is the start of summertime. And in summertime, there's more daylight, there's more light coming into the day. So we're going out to shine and to rise. But in Sagittarius season, it's 180 degrees the other way, as we are going off to the darkest day. Sorry, the darkest days of the year. And the darkest days of the year is winter solstice. Well, winter solstice is actually the day is getting lighter. So the whole of Sagittarius season is that turning point, those last 30 days of fall. And in fall, we need to let some things, some people fall. Some people we are a little bit too generous with, so we can evolve and grow. Okay, I wrote some things down because scatterbrained, oh my God, Mercury started moving retrograde in Sagittarius. And Sagittarius season is ruled by Jupiter moving retrograde in Gemini currently in its detriment time. So I hope you're doing well. Sagittarius currently carries Mercury retrograde and is a distributor of enthusiasm with the dominant phrase, I see. Sagittarius sees opportunities, sees options, sees openings. But ruled by Jupiter moving retrograde, it's difficult to feel inspired by these openings and options. It's difficult to feel motivated. It's difficult to feel joyful, even though we have all these options laid in front of us. But what are we going to do with it? Because it's so much, and which should we take? Again, with Jupiter in Gemini. Gemini is also a mutable sign, a mutable air sign. So it likes to communicate here, it likes to communicate there, it likes to be very sociable, have connections out everywhere. But how are those connections even favorable to you? And how much is it even taking of you? Because that's not what you're living for. Your life isn't just to provide for others. So it's difficult to feel inspired. And in Gemini, we may want to explore more than we can handle. I've said this so many times before, you did not give someone life. So don't feel so obligated to keep them in life, to keep them going. Because this favor I'm doing for someone else, you can't really put a monetary value on it. You can't really make it tangible or something, but it is very valuable. Again, those shared values, those shared possessions which you have and which you value a lot. It can also take your energy and your opportunities to grow. So as we're in this turning point, these last 30 days of fall, these last 30 days of autumn, things are getting darker. It's getting darker around us. You are the ignition. Let those things fall. Let those things fall that are blocking your light, because that ignition is the only light in these darkest days. Your faith, your motivation to say, I want to do this, I'm going to be there, that is what's keeping that's what keeping you going. So keep focus on that. And if, let's say, someone is leeching too much off of you to say, okay, I'm also going to do whatever I want. Okay, oh my God, I should have had an example for this. Whatever. But if something or someone is taking so much of you that you can't even invest in yourself anymore, again, how fair is it to you? It's not that I couldn't invest. Oh, I don't want to get too far into it. So, your ignition will shine the necessary light. Use this season to get rid of whom is dimming it. Your enthusiasm, your joy, your inspiration, because you deserve to grow too. So invest in yourself first. You have to be a little stingy sometimes. But that's for next season. That's for Capricorn season. But as we're being this serious, as we're letting things go, really try to be serious, because a lot of people kind of like, how do you say? A lot of people feel like they can doubt the Sagittarius, because the Sagittarius can be a little quirky, like the Aquarius, Sagittarius, Aquarius. Remember how that's not what we're talking. So Sagittarius is in that sextile with Aquarius, and in that sextile with Aquarius, they can be very weird in their approach, very distant from connecting with other people. I know exactly what I'm doing. If you don't, that's a pity for you. But that's not really how it works. Sometimes we need to communicate our things. Sometimes we need to communicate how serious we are about some things. I just remembered I also wanted to get out my whiteboard, but maybe I'll do that later. That Mercury retrograde is really hitting you hard, huh, Shmoane? Yeah. So, yeah, Sagittarius can also be quite chaotic, but do remember Sagittarius really thrives in this chaos. It's also a mutable sign, a mutable fire sign. So they have energy to be here, they have energy to be there, they have energy to be high, they have energy to be low. Do not underestimate these Sagittarius, but also do not underestimate your Sagittarius placements, because maybe you do have something that others would like to have. Maybe you do something which others really appreciate and which others would maybe like to dim the light on. Be serious with yourself, because Sagittarius placements are also quite lazy. Yeah, they're actually quite lazy. But wait until you give them a bow and an arrow, because they will hit the goal. They will hit the rose. So see what kind of placements you have in Sagittarius or where Sagittarius placements lay. You may have your descendant in Sagittarius, so a lot of Sagittarius relationships, ascendant, mid-heaven. You may have your Jupiter. So what is your Sagittarius placement and how can you expand and grow for yourself? And you do have to be very serious about this because earlier, whatever, somewhere in the year, I also said Sagittarius can also be so lazy that they can expand themselves in weight, in their body. So I do believe that I'm just going to say fat. If a fat Sagittarius puts their mind to something to say, okay, I'm going to reach this goal because they want it, it's on their inside, they believe it. Wait a minute. And because it's on the inside, they believe it and they want to reach it, they can really reach it. But you have to trigger that Sagittarius placement. It's almost December in the Netherlands. Like, almost. Americans have Thanksgiving. Okay, yeah, just remember their glyph. Do not doubt it. The Sagittarius, bow and arrow. If they put their mind to it, if they put their heart, if they put their belief and it's not even the heart. It's the faith. It's the belief. Where is the faith? Is that the sacral chakra? I don't know. I'm not going to find out today. I have to sing Leona Lewis' "Keep Bleeding Love" to my mama. It's a monthly rendition. Either way, Sagittarius knows chaos because they are the evolved Gemini. Gemini is very chaotic. Gemini is all over the place, but in air, in their thought. Sagittarius has already evolved the thought into movement because it's mutable fire, goes here, goes there, goes everywhere, knows how to thrive in chaos perfectly and has evolved in it. So as soon as that pressure gets high, again, the pressure gets higher, you face our Mashadanki. So, and this fate that drives and keeps igniting the Sagittarius forward, it's something that other people may envy. It's something that other people may, like I said, want to suppress. Lilith and Libra, we talked about this. But it's also something that other people may flock to because you do it so effortlessly. It seems like you have such an effortless lucky streak, but they do not know it's really that unshakable fate. We've talked about this. I think I've written it down in the description of week 48. No, we've talked about it with the new moon at the end of the full video of week 48. And we talked about that unshakable fate. If you have that belief on the inside, you see the opportunities, you see the openings, you see the options to where you want to go. Not even where you want to go, where you need to go. So you can grow. Have faith in yourself, have faith in your growth, expansion, insight, knowledge, but most of all in your abilities to fill the gap, to fill the position, to be of, well, not necessarily of service to you, not to others, but do yourself a service and believe in yourself because others do. The fact that you are in foreign terrain shouldn't really matter. You have the ability to communicate your talents, all right? Believe in yourself like others do. I'm not going to repeat that stuff again. Just watch the end of week 48. And maybe I'll put my live rendition in my Instagram story. Happy Sagittarius season. Oh, we're off to the darkest day. After that, I'm going to wear my wig and we're going to slay.